Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
Shut up and sit down.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated Superstar Tim Vicious. And we're going to go over Raw to see what's in Savannah, Georgia. Now, King and Queen of the Ring was this past weekend, and I gotta tell you, it was a damn good show. We're not going over that, much like I said at the top of it. We're going over Raw. The reason why we're not is because 99.9% of the time, it's, to use a comic book term, it's a one-shot deal. It's not canon. You know? But this year it was. But wanted to just still stick with the formula that we went with, plus with scheduling conflicts and all, it was we could either do Raw or not do a Rant at all. And you guys know on how dedicated I am to putting out new episodes each week for you guys. I took one hiatus. One and one only. That's it. So, with that said, we'll say this about King and Queen of the Ring. Gunther versus Randy. Freaking phenomenal match. If you have not seen it, go out of your way to see it. Good Lord Almighty. Nia becoming Queen of the Ring. Good friend of the show and Main Event Network contributor Alejandro the Great Brown Hope. He called it right at the start. Nia Jax was going to be queen, and long may she reign. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed killed it. Cody versus Logan Paul. Great match. Really loved that. And just... honestly, yeah. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it was a great show. Plus, Becky and Liv, they killed it also. They set the bar being the opening match. So, like I said, if you've not seen King and Queen of the Ring yet, get on Peacock, go watch it, enjoy it. With that said, let's get into this week's show, Raw, Savannah, Georgia. It starts out with your King General, Gunther, coming out. Gunther, he took a page out of Barney Stinson's book and suited up. He suited up big time. Came out looking like $1 million as only he can. Bragging about being not just the King of the Ring, but now earning a World Championship title shot at SummerSlam, because it was also announced that the King and Queen of the Ring would get a shot at their respective champion come SummerSlam. This is the first time since 2002 that they've done that, back when Brock Lesnar beat Rob Van Dam for the King of the Ring title, and then then Brock won the title, beat The Rock for it, and then Rock went off to Hollywood to go make Walking Tall at that time, I think. But, yeah. Either way, Gunther, very much so. Proud, happy, bragging about it. Very much so, as he should, all in all. Then, out comes Damian Priest. Priest looks at him. Now, Gunther also was making cheap shots at Priest, saying, you know, he took a coward's way out, he took the cheap route, he took the easy route by just doing a sneaky cash-in. And Priest just looking like, dude, bro. Let me see if I can do a Priest voice. Bro, seriously? No, I can't. He just looked at him and he was like, bro, seriously? That's the whole point of the briefcase. You say I took the cheap way out. Yeah, I did. But I had to work my ass off to get the briefcase in a ladder match to get to do that. And you want to say I took the easy way out? Dog, that's the whole point of the briefcase, is to give your shot, call your shot at your time. Now you see, tell you what. You can stick around with me for a bit, and I'll school you a little bit on business. Gunther just like, okay. You know, you want to school me on business, by all means. Because since I've signed with this company, I have been dying to have somebody try to school me. Now, business is not my strong suit. But what is my strong suit is my love and passion for this sport. And you have one of two choices. You can either talk to me before SummerSlam and address me as your King General, or you can talk to me after SummerSlam and address me as your new World Heavyweight Champion. Then out comes Drew McIntyre, because it was also announced that Drew McIntyre is going to be fighting Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle coming up in just a couple weeks. Cannot say I'm too surprised on that. It's a UK show, and McIntyre, it's in Scotland. McIntyre's Scottish. You know, I hate to say, connecting the very obvious dots, but we're connecting very obvious dots here, people. McIntyre comes out, looks like, now, listen, Gunther, I took you to your limit. You need to consider, you need to be warned. Because once I kick his ass and become world champion again, you're going to have to deal with me. And you, Priest, don't you go walking over me. Because I guarantee I'm going to beat the bloody piss out you. Now you say I'm all sorts of fire, I'm all sorts of hot and anger and all this, that and the other. I'm Scottish. What do you expect? I come over here, everyone says all that about me. I go back to my home country, go to Scotland. And you know what I'm known for? Just Drew. Because that's normal. And then McIntyre went on to go and say on how Scotland is the most caring, loving, and rowdy bunch out there, which, I don't know, man. Us Irish, I'm Irish. Us Irish, we're pretty rough and rowdy. We're pretty loving. And we sure as hell know on how to put on a good time. Have a good time. Either with drinks or our fists, but we know on how to have a good time. But yeah, but basically setting the foundations for what to expect for between now and SummerSlam coming up. And folks, I gotta tell you, I'm excited as excited can be. This is the most out traveling WWE has done in my lifetime. I mean, WrestleMania, just for 2024, we've had Royal Rumble, really, WrestleMania, and now SummerSlam, being the only 3 pay-per-views in the United States. The other shows, they're outside it, really. So, yeah, I'm all for it. So, with that said, back on track. I'm getting sidebarred here. I'm sorry. They're doing that. Priest is arguing with McIntyre. And then, as that's going on, Braun Strowman's music hits. He comes storming down looking all sorts of mad as only Braun can. And then he just goes, he stares a hole at Drew and then locks eyes on Priest, starts going off on him, and Priest just backs off, gets JD McDonough. Hey, you're up. Go kick his ass. JD's like, what, me? So, yeah, we now get, for our first match of the night, Braun Strowman versus JD McDonough. In nomine Patri, Filio, Spiritus Sancti, my human fucking Funko Pop. Yeah, this was pretty much what you expected. It was like a murder right up until the commercial break. Because it was, JD was like, boom! Oh shit, that didn't work. Well, what about this? Oh shit, that didn't work either. Well, what about that? Oh, fuck. Yeah. And you had a guy who's like 6'8", 6'11", I think, looking like about, who's like 380, going against a 5'10", 100 something, maybe 200 pound guy whose only advantage is his head is the proportionate size of like if he was a human-sized Funko. Yeah, JD McDonough was pretty much screwed at this point. Now, post-commercial break though, there was a little bit of some altercations, like it was like some fighting. I'm trying to think the right way to say this. It was like a halfway attempt to fight back post-commercial break. Now, the ending, it ended in some shenanigans because Finn, he was ringside. He was running interference with the ref. Carlito came out. Braun stopped him, grabbed him by the hair, just like, whoop, pulled him up by it. Excuse me. JD McDonough then did a headbutt, which normally I explain the medical reason why I think a headbutt should be on the short list of banned moves in wrestling, but in JD's case, it's just that's it right there. But McDonough, he then winds up getting scooped and hit with a running power slam for the 1-2-3. As Braun's celebrating, next thing you know, JD grabs a chair, crack, hits it over him. Braun's just like, no, the fuck you did not. And JD's just like, oh shit, I regret everything that led me to I regret every decision that led me to this point. And throughout the rest of the show, it was a running, continuing segment throughout the show. You would see JD McDonough either running or Braun Strowman chasing after him. JD! JD, where are you? Where are you? I'm gonna get you, boy! And we'll get to the conclusion of that at the end of the show. But for now, let's get to our next match. Ricochet versus the Mad Russian himself, Ilya Dragunov. And oh my God, in heaven was this good. Ilya, he was leading right up into the break. Post-commercial break, there was some good back and forth. I liked this. I thought this was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Match ended in a DQ when Braun Breaker came out of nowhere and boom! He speared Ricochet. Like, he speared him 12 feet out of his skin. And just like, looking like, oh. And then you hear officials, agents in the back and all that, they pull Braun off so that way you don't do any more damage. And then you see Adam Pearce getting on Braun, yelling at him, what is wrong with you? Why would you do this? You've been suspended. You can't do that because, highlight into last week, Ricochet and Ilya, they were having a conversation, and then next thing you know, Braun speared him, and they said earlier tonight that Braun got suspended for that. Excuse me, plus for the actions that he did with his opponent last week. But all I could say is I'm all cool with them building up Braun. Just for the love of God, please do not have him attack Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. Yeah. Next up, we got AOP, the Authors of Pain, going against the Creed brothers. I felt very awkward watching this because I like the Creeds and Julius had a lot of time to shine. I don't recall Brutus really getting any kind of tag in. You know, it's just like, what? Huh? What? Yeah, like you just tilt your head looking at it and you're like, what? That. Because while Julius, he put up a hell of a fight, he was pretty much made the punching bag. Brutus got knocked out, taken out. Scarlett took out Ivy Nile, who was ringside, and then they hit Julius with this new double team sit down powerbomb move that they call What a Rush as an homage to the Road Warriors. I can't argue on that too much because the Road Warriors are hands down my absolute favorite tag team of all time. So, yeah. Next up, we got Kairi Sane going against Lyra Valkyria. Whew, doggy. Needed the heart pills for this one. Needed the heart pills. Yeah. Kairi, she was targeting Lyra's ribs. You could see she had both sides taped up pretty good. Surprisingly, not with ace bandage tape. No, she actually had kinesiology tape on her. So, yeah. Not only that, man, it's Ricochet, he had taped up ribs also, and this is a thing. This is a little thing that I noticed. Since the quote-unquote Triple H era has started, you're seeing things that you definitely wouldn't with if Vince was still in charge. And obviously I'm not talking about just like the big things. I'm talking about small little things. You know? Like the fact that you have a Braun Breaker and a Braun Strowman. You have two Brauns on the same show. There would be no way, shape, or form Vince would have ever allowed that. Another small little thing noticed tonight. You had two wrestlers in two different matches with tape on their ribs for the same type of injuries. Yeah. Just an interesting little fact. But either way, decent match. I thought it was good. And Kairi, she was leading right up until the end. How that came to be was she went up top for the insane elbow. Lyra, she popped her knees up to counter it and then scooped her up for a crucifix pin for the 1, 2, 3. Next thing you know, they go into the back and they see Io tearing up Damage Control's locker room like you'd have thought she had 15 minutes in a rage room. Yeah. So next up we got Rey Mysterio going against Carlito, and the underlying story aside from Carlito betraying the LWO was the fact that Carlito has been trying to keep in good standings with Judgment Day just so that way they can have his back. Excuse me. We'll get to that as this match goes though. Now, Carlito, he was leading at the start. Rey started getting some momentum right before the break. Yeah, wanted to make sure I phrase that right. He started picking up some momentum and basically helped wedge a gap to keep Carlito from getting him so he had time to readjust and get his bearings before the commercial break. Post-commercial break, though, man, again, decent match. I thought it was good, you know. And back to what I was saying before about with Judgment Day, Finn, he came out. He wound up actually knocking out Dragon Lee to help distract. Carlito, he tried. He unfortunately couldn't. Rey wound up hitting him with the 619 and dropped the dime. Haven't seen Ray drop a dime in a while. Normally he does the 619 and then goes up to the top to get froggy. Either way though, excuse me. Either way though, getting a little phlegmy. Either way though, it was good. I liked it. At the end though, Finn and get myself confused. I'm sorry about that, folks. This is what you get for dealing with me. At the end though, Finn, Carlito, they're trying to help wreak havoc. Not getting much anywhere. Priest steps in. He comes out of nowhere, throws a razor's edge, destroys Dragon Lee, grabs Ray, hits him with the south side of heaven, and just looks at them. This is how you handle business. Just looking like, and giving them that kind of look like, oh, okay. Next up we have a Big E dream match. We have two big meaty men with big meaty chests bumping meat. Big Bronson Reed going against Otis. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Really bad weather today here at the Vish Studios. I had a little bit of a cough from it. But either way, man, this was, like I said, this was two big meaty men bumping meat, and this was good. I like this. This is not my favorite kind of style of wrestling match to watch, but good God, do I do not mind watching it. I don't. I enjoy watching this kind. But it was good. But the undertone story was Gable, he's mad at Otis because he feels Otis is the reason he's not Intercontinental Champion. Unfortunately for Otis, though, he's very much so being blindsided by love for Master Gable, that he's not seeing the abuse Master Gable is inflicting on him. So, as much as he's trying to please him, he's also still being very much so himself, and when he is, that's when Gable looks at him and rips him a new one. Which happened during this time. Otis, he was leading. Excuse me. Otis was leading, and then started shaking, gyrating his hips, looking like he's getting ready to set up to do the worm, and then Gable stops him. Next thing you know, Reed winds up popping him with a super kick, goes up, then hits him with the tsunami! Boom! For the one, the two, 1, 2, 3, go! Afterwards, Gable calls out all Alpha Academy, belittles Tozawa, belittles Maxine, and then tells Otis for not just failing to help him get the Intercontinental Championship at King of the Ring, but for losing tonight, he has to face discipline. So Otis, and then he pulls off his belt. This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Face the ropes. And then Otis is looking like, what? What? Face the ropes. So he goes, grabs them. And just as Gable winds back, Maxine grabs his hand. Oh. No. You go. You leave. Gable yelling at Maxine. Leave. And Tozawa just looking like the youngest of the bunch, like, I don't know what to do. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I ask if I can use the bathroom or something? You know, he just has that confused look on him. Gable then says, you stay here and watch this. Otis assumed the position. And as he's winding up again, next thing you know, you hear Sami Zayn's music. Sami comes out, addresses on how Gable, jab. For a guy that is so smart, you are so freaking short-sighted. It is not his fault or anyone else's fault except you that you're not Intercontinental Champion. You need to hold yourself accountable. Otis, honestly, what you need to do more than anything is think what is best for you. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to him. Listen to the people. Which, that is a pretty good barometer on where to go, right? But either way, as all this is going on, Gable then finally pops off, snaps, and then goes and hits Sami. Sami then goes to retaliate. Otis steps in between. Whoa. Guys, no. And then Gable instructing Otis, hit him, take him out, or do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. Sami, on the other hand, it's like little cartoon angel, little cartoon devil. Don't do this, go do it. Don't do this, go do it. And then next thing you know, Otis eventually, boom, he does it. Takes down Sami, but he's got this look of regret like he once asked, did I do the right thing? And honestly, if you gotta ask if you did, you're just looking to appease your own ego. You know the answer. So, with that said, now we come to main event of the night. The man, Becky Lynch, going against Liv Morgan, which Liv did win the Women's World Championship at King and Queen of the Ring, so she's now the new champion. Also, as of the time of this recording, May 27th, Becky Lynch's contract, according to rumor and gossip, and which take the rumors with a grain of salt, according to that, Becky's contract is set to expire this weekend. Honestly, I don't see her leaving this go anywhere else. I don't see her contract expiring just to say she's going to go and wrestle in this place or that place. I mean, there's not many places in outside of WWE that would pay somebody the kind of money Becky Lynch was getting. But yeah. So I see her doing one of two things. I see Becky doing one of two things. She's either going to let the contract expire and then just enjoy the rest of her days as a mom, or it's going to expire and then they re-up a whole new deal at the 0 minute. At 1 minute after the 0 mark. That's just me though. But as far as this match went, I dug it. Liv, she was leading the pace for it. Had some decent back and forth. Not only that, this match, it was in a steel cage. So, you had your normal steel cage mayhem. Face grinding up against it, getting slammed into it. This, that, and the other. I thought it was a good match. I did. Now, match came to an end, and I thought the ending was rather interesting. That's what got me. Because Dominic came down running, opened up the door, and then it was instructing Becky, come on Becky, come on, get out, get him on out here, come on out. And then as he's doing that, Finn and JD McDonough, keep in mind what I said about JD earlier, come down asking Dom, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why are you doing it? What is wrong with you, dude? They're asking him all this, and next thing you know, all you hear is, Braun! And then Braun Strowman's music hits, and Braun Strowman comes down, and JD's just got this look of, oh fuck, he found me. Listen, guys, I would love to stay here and talk about all this with you. I would, but I gotta go. He had that look on his face. And then he started circling the ring, and they go around it. they're taking the long way because I'm guessing you see where this is going. JD gets out the way. Dominic doesn't though, and Braun Strowman actually slams Dominic into hitting the cage door, and then the cage door, wham, pops Becky Lynch right in the face so she cannot get out. Liv Morgan literally crawls over Becky to get out of the cage. Excuse me. She gets out of the cage, and then the show ends abruptly with Liv holding her championship up high, just staring at Dom with those kiss me, love me eyes, and just like, oh, mommy is not going to like that when she gets back. So, wait, seriously, don't try to hit the music early. So, with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. If you're listening to this on the RSS feed, leave a 5-star review, leave a question or a comment in the what did you think about this episode section on Spotify. Folks, I am open to hearing it, and not only that, I'm open to all forms of criticism. Just be honest with me. Tell me what you liked, what you did not like, and I will work with you. That's all I got to say, honestly. I really will. So, now you can hit the music wave. So with that said, that is it for this week's show. So please, thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, folks, don't forget to check out whatamaneuver.net for some Vicious Rants apparel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you see I'm wearing a Vicious Rants tank. Perfect for summer weather. We also have t-shirts, women's tees, baby onesies, and toddler tees. We also got long sleeves if you're crazy enough to wear that in this kind of weather. Also, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats on the Twitter, DSB_IV, Main Event _net, the Main Event Wrestling Network Twitter account, Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, and D-Dryer 1986. And folks, well, like I always tell ya, you love me great, you hate me.
Shut up and sit down.
Fuck it.